What is going on, everybody? Nav here, and today we are going to talk specifically about RxJS subjects and behavior subjects and how they work and basically how you can use them. You don't need to use them in an Angular application, but that's typically where we use them as a standard. Now Angular has signals, which we'll talk about in another video, but RxJS subject and behavior subject are very, very valuable tools that allow us to manage a single source of truth of state. Alrighty, so let's take a look here at our example of what is a subject. We'll start with subject, okay? And a subject is just a container that has a stream of values. So again, the values come into the stream basically by setting the next value of that subject. Whenever a next value is set, a new value will enter the stream. So in this case, I'll number these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as the values coming in. And so basically any subscribers, so let's say we've got our, usually we'll do a $sign. Let's say, like, I don't know, we'll just say test subject, I guess. So we've got like some test behavior subject. And if we say something like .next and we set like another value, let's say, 6, then all the listeners of this behavior subject will be updated. So we'll just call this like subscriber 1, sub 1, and sub 2, right? And these subscriptions have a callback method inside, right? And their respective callback method will execute upon a next value entering the behavior subject. So that's sort of a visual representation, but let's look at a code example. So the very first thing I need to do is import the behavior subject. We'll start with actually just a subject, and then I'll explain the difference between the two. They're very, very similar actually, but there is slight differences. So in this case, let's we'll just say const, again, we'll call this one like test subject equals new subject. And subjects don't really take any initial value, right? So initially they're just null. The value in the stream, there's nothing in the stream. So if I then go and say let sub 1 equal, and then we will subscribe to the test subject. And again, inside of the subscription, we will pass a callback. And this callback will essentially run every single time the value changes. What we need to do here is say value, because the value that gets passed into the stream will be this value. And so if I just console.log value, right? Basically, you'll see that initially our subject is there, but there's no value passed into it, so nothing gets console logged. But now, this is where it's going to be a little bit tricky to wrap your head around, but I think you can do it. So hang in there. So here, I'm going to say something like test subject dot next, right? And I'm going to set the next value to 1, okay? And you see how the console logged 1, right? Even though this was defined before, right? This was defined before we set the next value to 1. Let's, again, then set another value to 2, and you'll see that every time this subject gets updated, its listeners or its subscriptions update. And going back to our drawing here, we can see that when the test next is called and we pass in 6, these subscriptions callbacks will run. So this is super valuable here because this allows us to have a single source of value with listeners across our application. This is extremely, extremely useful for small state management type of solutions. And this also allows us to have clean consolidated code. If we need to make an update to a value and there's 100 consumers of that value, let's say, for example, you have a situation where a user is logged, or let's say they set a theme for they're setting a theme for the application, and that theme does different things on different pages. Well, you can have a single like current theme subject, and then the user can subscribe to that and do different callbacks and different operations depending on the need there. Okay, so that's sort of how a subject is working. Let's take a look at a behavior subject. And then we'll take a look at an actual Angular example of how you can use these things effectively. So now I want to say, let's just say const, and then here we'll just say test B subject, right? And equals a new behavior subject. Now, you notice here something's wrong, right? And if we hover over here, we see that it expected one argument. So behavior subjects will take in an initial value, right? So they will immediately emit an initial value upon like creation, right? After their constructor runs, after this instance of the object is created. So now let's let let's just say sub2, right? Equal, and this time we're gonna do test B subject. So this is the behavior subject dot subscribe, right? And again, we're gonna pass in our callback, and we're just gonna console.log our value, and we need to actually capture that value as a parameter. And so notice now, let me just comment these guys out so that it's very clear. Notice one gets console logged. So sub2 actually, this stream actually receives this value on the initialization of the behavior subject. And then if I were to, come into here and say something like test B subject, or $, test B subject dot next, and I set another value to 2, we'll see 1 and then we'll see 2. Yeah, so basically a behavior subject can take a initial value here and, basically set up, start with an initial value. Behavior subjects are super useful. They do contain historical data. You can also do something like this, right? So if I want to console.log my test behavior subject dot, I think is get value, you can actually get the current value at any point and use that. Let's say it's you. I mean, typically you don't want to do this unless for whatever reason, because this would basically break the stream in the sense of like now you're introducing a static proposition. But the thing is that it's just to show you guys that it's possible. Okay, so now let's talk about replay subject. Okay, what is a replay subject and how does that one work? So we'll do const test replay subject equals new replay subject. And a replay subject doesn't need an initial value, but if you read here, what does it say? It says, it doesn't really say much in that definition, but let's look at some examples. So here we're gonna let my sub3 equal the test replay subject subscription dot subscribe, and again we will just pass it in a value and simply console log in this case, but obviously you could do more than that in here if you wanted. Okay, now let me just comment these guys out again. So now we're only working with our replay subject, and I want to say test replay subject dot, and then notice how there's a for each, right? What is the replay subject in this case? It keeps track of all the previous values, right? So it gives us, the ability to use like a stream, the whole stream of values, right? Rather than just one value. In this case, I think the behavior subject is still console logging. So here we'll just see that the replay subject next value is there. And then if I set the next value to like 4, I think if I go like this and did like a for each on this, I could say data, right? And right, and I can see that all the previous values in an array essentially. So you can get all the previously emitted values, whereas in this case, with the behavior subject, if I were to go do the same thing, you notice how we don't get the 2. So like, just to make this extra clear, let me just comment this stuff out, right? And so notice how in the behavior subject, it only keeps track of the last value, right? But our replay subject keeps track of all the values. So there are different use cases for these things, right? Where we would want particularly, we would want to particularly do that. If you want to keep track of a whole stream, that would make more sense. Like if you care about, I'm trying to think of a good example. I would say, let's say you had a step-by-step process, right, of some kind. Like let's say a user is completing steps. Maybe you want to populate some sort of step completion, like step 1, like if you're filling out a form and, you're on page 1, page 2, page 3, maybe you want to use a replay subject for something like that. A behavior subject, let's say you have a scoreboard that starts at value 0, right? You want to use something like that. And a subject, maybe you only, you care about only when a value exists. It's not like there doesn't need to be an initial value. So yeah, hopefully this helps you understand the difference between the 3. I mostly use these 2. I rarely use a replay subject, but there is use cases for it. I just haven't really faced one in my personal development time, but there's definitely use cases. If you have any more topics you would like me to cover, please leave it in the comment section below. And if you found this video informative, make sure you like and subscribe for more awesome content like this one. And I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.